thanks for reaching out, Sue. So many people, when they recover, they move on and don't connect again and let us know how they're doing. So it's a great privilege that you would reach out to me and connect. I apologize for the difficulty trying to pick a time. It's just been a busy time of year.
Oh, yeah, I understand. That's not a problem. No, I'm excited to do it because, the further, like you say, the further away you get from recovery, the more you just forget how much you came through and how much work you did. And I thought it was a good idea to just get on here and to thank you and to especially just express my appreciation for all that you do with Anxiety Center because, there's just so much that I had to like work on and recover from, and getting hyperstimulated was not in my plans and I had no idea how it happened. And getting through that would not have happened without Anxiety Center. I wouldn't have even understood what had happened without your good materials to help me,
Oh, well, thank you so much. We're glad you found it helpful.
I did. I did.
It's our great pleasure to help where we can, because all of us have been through it, and we know
Yeah, I know.
it can be an awful nightmare. So
Yeah.
we're glad we can help.
Yeah. And even when I talk to people now about it, there are some people that definitely totally understand if they've ever dealt with any type of issues with anxiety. But there's a lot of people that just look at you, and I would have looked at them the same way. I would have said, they're making this up. They can't be feeling like that. It can't be that bad.
It can't be that bad. Yeah, no kidding.
No, no. And I had all those like, no, this is, I'm never coming back from this. I'm never getting my life back. And, I don't think Grace is with you guys anymore, but she was just so helpful. She was very helpful. Just wound up, she was the one available when I needed somebody. And, she did a really good job. I appreciated her insight into what was going on with me and her just pushing me, you're going to make it through this. You're not doomed to stay like that.
Right.
So that I appreciate too.
Oh, great. Yeah, we like Sue. She decided to do something different, expand her career. So we were sorry to see her go, but we totally understood and support her and her new vendor. Yeah.
Yeah. She was doing a lot, even at the time, we were having our so I can understand, but there's other people, at least 3 other people that I know that have used your website, because anybody that's going through anything like that, I definitely tell them, this is where you want to go. You're going to get the help you need. They know what's going on. They're going to be able to help you, get through this without, confusing you or taking you down paths you might not want to go.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So do you want to tell me a little bit about your story as an overview?
Yeah.
And because again, these are going to be shared on our video channels. If you have people in your lives you want to protect, you can just use their first name or just refer to them. So
yes, that's fine. So it really started in March of 2021. So 2 years prior to March of 2021, I had so let me start again. In March of 2021, I had an emergency eye surgery because in my right eye experienced a retinal detachment. And I knew what it was because I worked at an eye doctor. 2 years prior to that, March of 2019, my husband lost his employment. A year later, in March of 2020, when COVID hit, he was still unemployed.
Oh.
Fast forward another 6 months, I took a job. I had been working at an eye doctor, an optometrist office, which I really liked, part-time. 6 months prior to my retinal detachment, I took a full-time job so we could have benefits. And it was a drive, and it was during COVID, so that was kind of stressful. And then 6 months after that, I had the retinal detachment, which was fine because I was right in an eye doctor's office and they sent me right to somebody that could help me. And I had the surgery, and it requires, being face down for several days. And it was a little intense. So I thought, okay, after 2 weeks of being out, they said I could go back. But my my vision wasn't what it was. It wasn't horrible, but there was also other decisions I had to make, like a laser treatment in the other eye, possible cataract surgery in the surgical eye, because that's just what happens from the treatment that you get for that surgery. So you have all these things kind of building up, building up, building up. And I had no idea. I was just going. I had to do what I had to do for my family. And then after I went back to work, I don't know when it started happening, but very shortly after that. So that was March, and this about April, I started having very strange symptoms, because every person that came into the eye doctor's office from then on was my future. They had a terrible eye issue. We were seeing some terrible eye issues. And I was like, this is what's going to happen to me. I still have to have surgeries. I still have to, when you're trying to make that decision, do I do the laser procedure now? Do I do it later? Just getting caught up in a lot of Googling and trying to figure all this out. And then all of a sudden physical symptoms start. The worst of which for me was face burning, which I thought must have been related to the surgery. And I couldn't figure out why I kept having that. So fast forward a little bit through April, through May. At the end of May, I remember somebody at my church saying to me, I see you've lost weight. And I was struggling, I guess, at that point, and I didn't know with what. I thought probably throughout that time, I had a list of things I'm Googling and saying, well, the face burning could be this. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's, MS or whatever autoimmune thing you want to put in there. I had a list of all these different things it definitely could have been. And then, I'm Googling all those things. Then I'm making doctor's appointments, and I'm saying, explaining to them, well, I had this surgery. Now I'm losing weight. Now I'm having face burning. And I'm not talking calmly like I'm talking to you. I'm talking like, what is going on? Can you help me? Can you fix me? It was just, and I'm driving all the way back and forth, because it's like 45 minutes to an hour to my office and back home. And I'm cooking and cleaning and doing all the things I've always done, because I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years. So I'm doing all that too.
Yeah.
And I think by August, I wound up, and it takes a long time to get a doctor's appointment. So I'm waiting a month here, a month there. And, the doctor that I worked with at that time, she noticed things, and she would make little comments, and then she'd be very compassionate to me. But I didn't want her compassion. I wanted somebody to tell me what was wrong with me and fix me. Because I was thinking, okay, a few months ago I was fine. Now I'm this. What is going on with me? This isn't. And my husband, who was really, really supportive at this time, he's always been supportive of me, but at this time he really came in clutch, because he had his own anxiety issues back in, I don't remember, it was 2016 possibly, but it was a while before, right around when my daughter graduated college. And he was saying it's anxiety. And I was like, no. This is not like what you had. This is not the same thing. I don't think you're right. This is not what's going on with me. And then I finally, in August, I was continuing to lose weight more and more. Like, all told, I lost like 25 pounds, went down to like my marriage weight of 30 years ago. I was just, and that brings its own symptoms when you lose weight so rapidly. Then you start having, like, you're cold all the time, or you just feel weird in your own body. It's just crazy. So when I finally got in with my primary care in August, I spoke to her, and she said to me, Susan, I want to give you your life back. I'm going to prescribe you Zoloft. And I thought to myself, how did I get here? And my background is that I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 4 children. I homeschooled all of them. Wow. They were all graduated. My last one was in college. I was like, how did I get here? How did I get so messed up? What is she even saying to me? Zoloft is going to give me my life back? What? So I didn't know what to say to her. So I did say, I don't know if my husband would like me being on Zoloft. And she goes, well, why do you even have to tell him? And then I was annoyed. I said, I tell my husband everything. And what if I had a bad reaction? Wouldn't it be good if he knew? So she was she was only, I don't blame her. She was only giving me what she felt would help me. You know, this is what she had to help me. And she pegged it right. I was suffering from an anxiety disorder. And she gave me the prescription, and I was scared to death to take that stuff because I just felt like that's going to lead to if that doesn't help, or if that gives me symptoms, then they give you other things to help those symptoms. And, you know, people through the years that have maybe had those issues, and I don't blame anybody for taking medication, not at all. Maybe I could have benefited from it. I don't know looking back, but I just was too afraid to really go down that road. So by October, September, late September, early October, there were 3 things that happened. I visited a cardiologist because I was starting to have heart palpitations in the middle of the night and this and that. So they fitted me with, I told him the whole story, and I wasn't getting any answers there. So I thought, what's my next step? How is somebody going to help me? How am I going to figure out how to get better? Where do I go? And I was still Googling. And around that same time, I Googled, and I had Googled many times before, burning face, burning whatever, skin, something. And your website came up. That was like right around early October, 2021. And I sat all day, like for a couple of hours, and read all the recovery stories that I could read without being a member, and just thought to myself, this is what's wrong with me. These people got better. I'm going to get my life back. This is amazing. But, it's not this quick thing. You can discover that in your head really fast, but your body says, oh no. That's not the easy thing you think it's going to be. And really, there is a lot of danger here, and you should be super afraid and think that there's something wrong with you. So I think I reached out to you guys at that time. I also asked work to go out on some time off leave, and it wound up being short-term disability, which turned into long-term disability for about maybe, I'm going to say at least a year, maybe a year and a couple months. And then in November, I finally connected with Grace through you guys. And, again, we were still recovering from 2 years of unemployment, but Damon said, my husband said, this is important. I know you're going to get better. He always felt that I was going to get better, which I don't know how he thought that, but he always said, you're going to get better. You're going to get through this. You're going to come back. I know you are, blah, blah, blah. He was very supportive. He said, we're going to do this. We're going to get you the therapy you need, because this is what you need, and you're going to do the work. And I dove in and did every piece of homework. I did everything Grace told me to do, the 7 times a day breathing exercises. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work. And she'd say, use your feeling words, Be like, I'm just anxious. I'm scared. What other feeling word is there? She goes, well, be more specific. And it was, and then she also had us work on some underlying factors. Anything she felt was a stressor in my life, maybe, even me and my husband did a communication class for a few weeks with her, which she felt would help me with my stress levels. And we discovered a lot about each other and our relationship and different things. It was great as far as all that. But for the first 6 months, I still didn't believe fully. And then I realized, okay, I have to go to full acceptance here. I have to fully accept that this is just anxiety, even if I don't believe it, and let the belief come later. Right. And that was right around March. And I went back to my previous job that I had part-time, and they let me come in at first just 4 hours a week, just to do administrative stuff. And eventually, I worked my way back into working with patients and doing things, more and more and more. Semi full-time, but not full-time. And that's where I'm at now. But I went through all of that with you guys and all the different homework that I did, and just learning a lot, rebuilding my confidence, rebuilding my resilience, That was a big thing that Grace taught me. And just having all these index cards of remembering, remember who I am in Christ, remember, this isn't, there were a lot of them. I have them here, that God is in control. He is my safety. Even when symptoms would come, I try and just do the breathing exercises. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I did this yesterday. I can do it today, and you just boil it down to those moments. Okay. And even at work, if I went through 6 months of just continually, just having digestive issues, but then, and the face stuff kind of backed off. But then when the digestive issues seemed to kind of level off, the face stuff came back right away. And I said, okay, you just have to let it be there. And then, just all the other crazy, weird symptoms like tingling and just a lot of them. When you talk about, I had every symptom on the website, I'd say, yeah, I kind of get what he means, probably not every symptom, but yeah, I had a lot of symptoms. Yeah. I'd just sit there and I'd just be like, it's okay. My body's okay. It's just nervous there's fear in my body. Amy's, acting up. I tell myself that at least 100 times a day at work, at home, and sometimes being home. I think you mentioned this in a few of your videos. Sometimes when you stop, it's the worst. When you have a nice day or a relaxed day off, that's when the symptoms can get really bad. So, and just doing all the fear worksheets, the ANT worksheets, oh man, I did so many worksheets. I just really, really wanted my life back. I just wanted my life back so bad. I just said, well, this is the only way to get it. And it really worked. I can remember saying to Grace, I can't believe this really happened. I can't believe that was really what happened to me. And that everything you see on the website and that you read, that it really is true. That you see how your body slowly calms down and then it'll have a crazy flare-up day for no reason at all. And you say to yourself, wow, they really know what they're talking about on this website. So, but fast forward, March 2023 was, December 13th of 2022, Grace graduated me. Yay. And then March of 2023 was when I think I really felt like, okay, I feel recovered. Obviously there were still, stressors that come and maybe certain symptoms come. I think that happens to everybody, but by that point I felt pretty well recovered and just so excited to have my life back. And again, like I said, meeting with you and being able to tell you that I wouldn't have gotten my life back without Anxiety Center. That's 100% true.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. We love hearing those stories because, how anxiety can take your life over and you become all consumed with it. And then it's fear day after day, 24/7 for a lot of people. And then to finally work towards recovery and to see it work is just great. I mean, it also is a testament to your dedication and commitment to work so hard because as you mentioned, it's not easy work. It's a lot of work we have to do. It's a lot of retraining. We got to, it's like dragging the body back from a high state of hyperstimulation bit by bit, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You did it. So.
Yes. And even awesome. Friends or people that I have recommended, they can't believe how, certain symptoms can only be anxiety. They'll run, they do the thing. They go from doctor to doctor to doctor, and then they're not getting answers. And they're like, I think you're right. It's got to be just this. But just to be able to share that with people and to be able to tell them, you can get better. You're going to get better. You're going to get through this. This is not the end or permanent or anything like that. It took a long time for me to believe that. And I would join I would listen to later all your Zoom live discussions and just feel like, okay, this is true. It just reinforced in my mind. Yes, you're going to get better because this is what your body's doing. Your body's just living in a fear cycle, and it is going to calm down. You are going to get better. It isn't permanent. Your body can't stay that way if you retrain your mind, if you're doing the breathing exercises, if you're relaxing your mind and your body and getting the rest, sufficient rest, like you say, you're going to get better. Like it's guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that really gave me hope.
Oh, that's great. And, like videos like yours, like you're doing right now, because as you know, in those early days of recovery, a lot of times it feels hopeless. It feels like it's never going to change, especially when you're working at it for months and you see hardly any change, right?
Yes.
So it's the encouragement like you're offering right now that people will see to say, okay, if I do the work, I can get better. And that's true because when we do the right things, the body has to recover. It has no choice. It's just that it takes so long to get it to move in that direction. Yeah.
It does. It does. And that's what I would just keep telling myself. You get to that point where it's like, well, I did it yesterday. I'll do it again today. And, and you just kind of like, you say silly things to yourself. You're safe. You're not in any danger. Your body just thinks you are, or trust the process, or the only way out is through, all those different things. You feel like some kind of Olympian, training and getting your body back in line. But it does. It really works. Anybody that told me that story previously, I would have been like, are they serious? What are they even talking about?
I know.
But it really does work, and it really is true. It's amazing. It's amazing what your website, and I can't imagine the amount of people that you guys have helped over the years, because you've been around 25 years or so. Right?
As a website, it's been over that, and I've been personally helping people since 1987, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, that's amazing to be able to help that many people, and it's probably even growing now because of the stress levels it's a normal fact of life that you live at that fast pace.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I mean,
the body wasn't designed to go at that pace, yet
yes.
expectations think it should. And then we run into trouble. And then, as you know, recovery is not fast and it takes a lot of work. And I think the sad thing about today is the younger generation isn't willing to do the work. They're looking for faster fixes. Well, when the body's hyperstimulated, it's not going to turn around fast. You got to consistently do the right things. So again, I really, love your comments, letting people know that you can recover, but you got to put the work in.
Yeah. And be patient. I learned a lot of patience, and God took care of me through that time, just providing the ability to be on short-term disability and then long-term disability until I could work more hours to be able to replace, income that I lost. How he took care of me through all of that, for my husband being so supportive. I know not everybody has a supportive family, but I had an extremely supportive family. Even my kids, everyone was very supportive of me. No one was telling me just go on drugs. What is wrong with you? Yeah. Everyone was like, you're going to be fine. We know you're going to get better. They all knew that I would get better, that I would be, back to myself. And, that meant a lot. So I know I can't take full credit. I did a lot of work, but at the same time, not having that support would have made it that much harder. You would have had so much more self-doubt,
Yeah.
So and now, yes. Yeah, they were very supportive to me. Yeah, amazingly supportive. Even if they couldn't completely understand it, they were very supportive. So I'm very thankful for that. And for God taking care of me, for being able to find Anxiety Center, just the light bulb that went on when I found your website was, I said, this is it. People have gotten better. I would re-listen and reread the recovery stories just to help me, because, on those bad days, you're just thinking, I'm stuck in this body. You're afraid to be in your own body. It was just such a foreign, I couldn't even just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to enjoy a nice meal. I'm going to enjoy a cup of coffee. Nope, that was off the table. Everything had changed as far as that. Maybe I'd go outside for gentle walks, and that always helped. But, the calming sensation of that would quickly be replaced by that revving back up.
Yeah.
And I just say, okay, this is it. I'm in this ride right now. And that's how it is for the foreseeable future. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it today. When I go to bed tonight, I'm going to trust that I can do it tomorrow because I did it all those other days. And the more days you do it, the easier it gets to believe that you can. And then your body does start responding eventually. Like you said, months and months and months, but eventually it did. Yeah. It did respond, and I did start to feel more like myself.
That's awesome. And, it is hard work, but look how much you've learned and the skills you have now. Because as we get older, we have health things that pop up, and we need to be stable and keep ourselves contained. And those skills will do that job.
Yes. I agree.
Hard work, you still, have gained a lot of things that will benefit you now for the rest of your life, and your kids too, and your friends.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. They all, I can be able to share advice with them or just encourage them in different ways that I never would have been able to. I can encourage myself. My husband learned a lot. We both learned a lot together. Which is special as far as like you said, facing, getting older and different health things, and they're going to invariably pop up. There's no way around that. Seeing yourself get older, seeing your kids get older and things change and other stressors and, happy times, sad times, you get the whole gamut, and being able to be at a point where, those tools are available to me. I still use them today. I still do deep breathing. I still do deep relaxation. I still, talk to myself and tell myself, okay, capture those ants, that don't do that. Grace, I would always say, I'm always doing that. She said, you're always doing that, always and never thinking. It's always or never.
Yeah.
So I try and catch that and say, no. And there's always, like you said, you get older and there's other stressors. There's never going to be not stress that happens. Now I have 2 grandkids and the stress with that, and which is lovely and joyful, but there's always, concerns and different things. So it is what it is.
Coping skills really help us in life later. So
they do. They really do.
Congratulations, on your hard work. It's again, a real testimony to your character for doing that and for wanting to share that. If you were to reach out to those who are watching, what would you say to them about their anxiety and how to get better?
I guess I would say that nobody's journey is the same, but the solution is the same. The solution is to follow the principles of what you teach on the website, of allowing your body sufficient time to calm down, to work on the first level recovery, but also to go deep, to be vulnerable, to allow yourself to be honest with yourself about those underlying things that may hold you back, and to really work with a therapist that can help you, that can pinpoint those things that are those sticking issues for you, that can help you work through that, and to trust your own body, to trust, the therapy process, that really is the only way. And that no matter how you get there, like I said, everybody's recovery journey is different, and no matter how long it takes, you will get there.
Yeah.
You will definitely get better.
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And research shows that to get over anxiety disorder, and I'm talking about deep anxiety disorder, not just having an anxious moment and a panic attack once in a while, right?
Right.
Like when the body really goes, working with a therapist is the best way to do that. Do you think you could have accomplished your success without therapy?
No, I don't. No, I think I probably would have wound up, trying anti-anxiety medication. Maybe I would have gone through it, because I did start with another counselor as well. And at the end of my counseling session with her, I was kind of just teaching her about what
Mm.
Anxiety Center was all about, and what I was discovering was going on with my body. So it has to be the right therapy. It can't just be any therapy. I don't think I would have gotten better without the right therapy, telling myself, and the website. I read the website a lot and educated myself on what was going on with my body. I don't think, because, and I think you say this a lot, is that people that are like anxious or get caught up in anxiety disorder, generally are really smart. They think things, and maybe their overthinking kind of landed them a little bit in this, but they also need to understand what's going on with their body. They need to be educated. I needed to be educated. I could have went on meds and maybe after a couple of years tried to get off them. And maybe if I got off them, I would have still been like, what happened? And then I would have been very vulnerable to it again. I think that would have left me weaker, not stronger. Going through the therapy with Anxiety Center that helped me left me stronger, not weaker. And I think the correct therapy, the correct approach to getting over an anxiety disorder leaves you stronger, not weaker.
Right.
I hope that makes sense too.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to the viewers?
I can't think of anything.
You have a lot of good information of what you already said, but if
Good. I'm glad. I hope it's helpful to people. I really do. I think just remembering how helpful, even, you had some older audio recordings on the website. How I found them, I don't even remember, but just finding them and hearing people say, I did it, I recovered, here I am today. And even hearing that it took this long. At first it would be like, oh my gosh, it took them 2 years. What?
Yeah.
I can't do this for 2 years, but yeah, I did. It was a full 2 years, but that full 2 years wasn't the same. There was progress. I could see progress after several months, 6 months, a year. I could start living again to certain degrees. But I guess I just want to say, just be patient with yourself and give it time. Don't think it's got to be fast. Just be patient with yourself and know that it will happen, and and coming to the point of being okay with that that's a good lesson that I learned.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I know people do say, oh, how can you recover for 2 years? And I always come back and say, well, if you don't do your recovery, you're going to suffer for 2 years. Then you still have to start.
Exactly.
Let's get it done now. Yeah. I know it's an investment of time and money to get going.
Yes.
But once you're through it, it's well worth it for me. Looks like it's for you as well.
Absolutely. 100% well worth it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And even after, like, I still have all the material. I still have all the knowledge. I have that for the rest of my life. I don't have to be concerned about something. I have a day where something flares up, and it happens, because you have stressful times, you have concerns, you have a lot going on at times, or whatever happens. And that happens to everybody. But I still have all those tools. I just fall right back on that. And I say, all right, just give yourself a day or two to just kind of regroup and you'll be fine. Just take some me time, self-compassion. You're, strong, you're confident, you're going to be fine, and that I have for the rest of my life. Yeah. And it's great. And just dealing with certain situations, with people, church, work, family, whatever it is, there's always going to be, even in your community, there's always going to be people or situations that are hard to deal with. And you can handle those things. And it just amazes me when it occurs to me. I don't really think about it too much. I remember wishing for the day I would wake up and say, I don't think about anxiety anymore. But right. Like, cause you carry it around like this blanket, for months and a long time. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, wow, I haven't really thought about it for a couple of weeks. That's amazing. Yeah. But when you remember back to it, maybe you have a stressful time, you say, oh my goodness, I'm handling this so well, not in a prideful way, but you say, wow, I've really come so far. I have confidence. I have built resilience, you know?
Yeah.
I remember Grace always saying, pat yourself on the back. Just give yourself a
Yeah,
hug,
totally.
pat yourself on the back. And I would do that, literally and in my mind, you know, that, and those things really, when you're in that hyperstimulated state, those things over and over and over again, get you there. That's like your bridge. You get there from that, and slowly, but it does happen.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. That's great. And I'm sure it's going to be an encouragement for a lot of people, just hearing
Good.
those success stories. So I really appreciate you coming back. Do you have a Recovery Support membership now, or did you let it expire?
Oh, well, that's a good thing to share. I had let it expire. I felt fully recovered in March 2023, but I still was practicing a lot of my tools and stuff, and I was still a recovery support member. And that summer, I felt like, oh, I finally am having a summer. We went on a nice vacation, my husband and I, just the two of us, and it was over my birthday weekend. And on my birthday, July 11th, 2023, the membership lapsed. And I remember sharing it with Damon, and Damon was like, congratulations, and you felt really, so now I became a member again to be able to get in touch with you so that I can share my recovery story. So right now I am a member, I don't, I always tell people, start with the website. If they're having any issues, start with becoming a member. It's not that you don't even have to start with therapy. You can go there if you think you need it, but start with a membership of the website and just read everything you can in the different chapters that you need. But I know it's there for me if I ever need it, so right now I'm a member. I don't know if I'll stay a member, but I like supporting the website. So it's great to be a member again.
Well, thank you for all that, but we're going to set you up with a lifetime free one just so you have access to it whenever you need it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's so exciting.
Oh, no, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I don't want you to go back there and spend a lot of time, but sometimes just, dropping an encouraging word for others and things like that. Because again, so many people get, recovered and then they move away and you don't hear from them again. And a lot of the people just starting are struggling. So every once in a while, it's nice to hear an encouraging word. So I love what you said today. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much. I appreciate everything that the website did for me. So thank you. Thank you for that gift. That's awesome. So exciting.
You're welcome. That's great. Well, thank you for doing this interview, and I wish you all the best. And once the interview is edited, we'll have it online for you. So again, thank you so much for doing this.
I can't promise I'll watch it.
I'm sure a lot of people will know, and I really appreciate doing that. So thank you so much, Sue.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
You too, Jim. Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.